This is why you don't have respect from those around you, and more importantly, respect for yourself. Now, if you stick around, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to start turning it around. So think about this. If someone makes a negative comment, it might not even be about you. But if you begin to internalize that and turn it on yourself and your self-talk goes negative, it's because you have low respect for yourself. Or let's go with if you're married and you have kids. If your spouse and your kids don't take you serious, or they never take what you do or say seriously, it's because you're not respected enough in that household. And another one, if you're at work, let's say you're at work or out with some friends, you're always that person to make fun of yourself or talk down about the things that you're doing because you have that negative self-consciousness about yourself and you want to get it out the way before someone else points it out about you. And this is all your fault. But that should be liberating, because if you got yourself in that position, you have the power to change that about yourself and start gaining some respect for yourself. Now I'm going to give you those 3 tips. Tip number 1 is begin honoring your word to yourself. Now, what does that mean? It could be simple. You could start very simple, right? If you tell yourself you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to wake up early, do it. If you tell your wife or your husband you're going to take out the trash, do it. It's little things like that that are going to start building up that self-respect for yourself. Because when we don't do what we say we're going to do, we lose trust in ourselves. And when we lose trust in ourselves, we don't respect ourselves. So that's tip number 1. Just honor your word to yourself. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Step number 2, change your physical appearance. This is one of the easiest things to do, but it seems so difficult for everyone. Start working out, start eating better, start dressing a little bit better. All of these things, it's like the saying goes, if you look good, you feel good. And it's true. And if you've never looked good, or if you don't ever feel that you looked good, try it before you write it off as it doesn't apply to you. Start figuring out what types of food you should be eating. If you're overweight, eat less, drop the pound. If you're skinny and you're frail, start lifting weights and eating more protein. Start building some muscle mass. I promise it'll make a world of a difference. Change your physical appearance, all right? And number 3, drop any regretful habits that you have. And the easiest way to indicate or to spot a habit that you regret is simple. If you do something and after you do it, you have some sort of regret, that's a negative habit. That's a habit that needs to go. So if you're out every weekend partying and you wake up the next day and you feel like shit and you regret drinking so much, maybe you gotta cut back on the drinking. You know, if you lie to your spouse and then you start feeling that regret kick in, then maybe you need to stop lying to your spouse, right? It's things like that. For me, it's food, for example, especially when I'm tracking my food. If I eat outside of what I know I should be eating, that regret kicks in later in the day, and it might even linger into the next day. Every night, what you should do is take account of what you did during the day and point out the things that you're not so proud of, and then the next day work on not repeating those same bad habits. It's all a process, but I promise that with these 3 steps, if done consistently for a long period of time, you'll change the way you view yourself. And with that comes a level of self-respect that no one can take away from you. When you feel that type of self-respect, doesn't matter what anyone else says, because you know you're in line with the person that you want to be, so no one can take that away from you. The opinions of others will start to just no longer affect you negatively. As long as your self-respect is there for yourself, then you won. All right, so I hope that helped. If you like this type of content, please leave a comment, subscribe, and let me know what other topics you guys would like to cover.